All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're going to be tackling some Spanish grammar, specifically plural nouns.
That's right. We've got a video lesson and some exercises that a listener sent in, and we're ready to really break down how these plurals work.
Sounds good to me. So the video starts off pretty basic. Add an S to words that end in a vowel, and S to words ending in a consonant.
Right. Just like in English, yeah.
Yeah. So like libro becomes libros,
Yeah,
or like papa turns into papas.
exactly. And, professor becomes professors.
Easy enough, but I'm sure it can't be that simple, right?
Of course not. It wouldn't be a deep dive if there weren't a few twists and turns. So let's look at words that end in Z. The video uses the example lapis, meaning pencil.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if we just stuck with that basic rule, we'd end up with lapis, right?
Right. But the video says it's actually lapises.
So what's going on there?
Well, it all has to do with how sounds evolved in the Spanish language. That C sound sort of softened into a C sound, especially before an ES ending.
Huh. So it's not just a random rule, it's like a little window into how people actually spoke the language.
Exactly. And this sort of thing happens across a lot of languages.
Oh, I bet. Languages are always changing. Okay, so are there any other quirks we should watch out for?
Well, the video points out that vowels, specifically the ones ending in E or U, need a little extra something. They use the examples colibri for hummingbird and bamboo.
So, like, we can't just add an S there.
Nope. Those vowels like to keep their accents and their unique pronunciation. So instead of colibris or bamboos, we actually add an extra E before the S, giving us colibris and bamboos.
Gotcha. So it's colibris and bamboos. It's all about keeping those distinct sounds. I'm starting to see that there's more to these Spanish plurals than meets the eye.
You're telling me. And of course, it wouldn't be Spanish without some exceptions to the rules.
Uh-huh, right. So what kind of rule breakers are we dealing with?
Well, take the word boo, for example, which means ox. Now, that word ends in a S, right? But instead of following the vowel rule, it actually acts like a consonant and takes an S to become boos.
Interesting. So even when you think you've got it all figured out, Spanish throws a curveball.
And sometimes a whole new pitch, like with the word jersey.
Oh, how does that one work?
Well, jersey, it completely breaks the rule. Instead of just adding an S, the Y actually changes to an E before adding the S, giving us jerseys.
Wow, okay. Jerseys. So we've got basic rules, we've got vowel quirks, and we've got rule breakers. What else is there?
Well, have you ever noticed how some words look the same in both singular and plural form?
Oh, yeah. Like in English, we have sheep or deer. Does Spanish do that too?
It does. The video uses the example prismáticos for binoculars.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're talking about one pair or multiple pairs, it stays the same.
Huh. That's pretty cool. And I guess words for days of the week are kind of like that too, right? Like lunes.
Exactly. El lunes for Monday. One Monday, every Monday doesn't change.
It's like they're rebelling against this whole singular versus plural thing. We've talked about the basic rules, tackled those vowels, and even met some words that refuse to be categorized. What's next?
Let's shift gears a little bit and look at how this singular versus plural idea affects other parts of speech.
Okay, you've got my attention. What do you mean?
Well, think about it. The concept of number doesn't just apply to nouns, right? It also affects verbs and adjectives.
So it's not enough to just change the noun. We have to make sure everything else in the sentence agrees.
Exactly. Think about the phrase mi primo es holandés, meaning my cousin is Dutch. Now, if we want to make that plural, we don't just change primo to primos.
Right.
We also have to change the possessive adjective from me to mis, and even the verb from es to son. The whole sentence becomes mis primos son holandeses, meaning my cousins are Dutch.
Wow, it's like a chain reaction. Changing one word sets off all these other changes in the sentence.
It really shows how interconnected language is. And it gets even more interesting when we start dealing with subjects that have both masculine and feminine nouns. For example, el rey y la reina, meaning the king and the queen.
Okay.
Now, how would we say the monarchs?
Well, following the basic rule, I might say los reyes y las reinas, but I have a feeling it's not that simple.
You're catching on quick.
Oh.
In Spanish, when you've got a phrase with both masculine and feminine nouns, the masculine actually takes over in the plural form.
So it's just los reyes, even though there's a queen involved.
Exactly. It becomes los reyes for the monarchs.
That's fascinating. I wonder how that grammatical rule came to be. It seems like we've just scratched the surface of these Spanish plurals.
We've definitely covered a lot of ground, but there's always more to explore.
Well, I'm ready to put all this knowledge to the test and see if I can actually apply it. Are you ready to dive into some practice exercises from the video?
Bring it on. Let's see what challenges await us. All right, so are you ready to put those plural skills to the test?
Let's do it. I'm feeling a lot more confident now that we've gone over all those rules and exceptions.
Great. So the first exercise gives us the sentence. El padre y la madre de Sofía no son españoles. That means the father and mother of Sofía are not Spanish.
Okay.
And we need to swap out el padre y la madre with the correct plural noun, remembering that the rest of the sentence is already plural.
All right, so thinking back to that masculine precedence rule, would it be los padres?
Exactly. Even though we're talking about both parents, the plural form defaults to the masculine los padres.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get the hang of this.
Awesome. The next one uses the sentence. El príncipe y la princesa del castillo están solteros. That's the prince and princess of the castle are single. Now, your mission is to pluralize the subject.
All right, let me see. We have a masculine and feminine noun. So based on what we've learned, we should use the masculine plural form. So it would be, los príncipes del castillo están solteros. Is that right?
You got it. You're becoming a plural pro.
Thanks.
But remember, it's not just about choosing the right plural noun. It's also about making sure it fits grammatically with the rest of the sentence. The video gives us the phrase, todavía no ha llegado papá y mamá.
Okay.
That means dad and mom haven't arrived yet. It looks like we need to combine papá y mamá into a single plural noun to complete the sentence. Todavía no han llegado. They haven't arrived yet.
Right. So how do we do that?
Well, to make it all flow, we use todavía no han llegado tus papás. That means your parents haven't arrived yet. Notice how we also use the plural possessive adjective tus, for your, to match the plural noun papás.
Right. It's all about those little agreements that make Spanish sound so smooth.
Absolutely. And the video gives us another example that emphasizes this. It's mi tío y mi tía se conocieron en Sevilla hace 20 años. That's my uncle and my aunt met in Seville 20 years ago.
Okay.
Notice how that plural verb conocieron, meaning met, agrees with the plural subject mi tío y mi tía.
Yeah, I see that. And if we wanted to make that whole sentence plural, it would become mis tíos se conocieron en Sevilla hace 20 años.
Exactly.
Which means my uncles met in Seville 20 years ago. So even though we're talking about an uncle and an aunt, that plural form tíos takes over because of that masculine precedence rule.
Right. All these examples just show how important this concept of number is in Spanish grammar. It's not just about memorizing rules, it's about seeing how all the pieces of the language fit together.
I'm loving this, but I think I'm ready for a real challenge now. Does the video have anything that will really push our understanding of these plurals?
You bet. The last exercise gives us this sentence. Al intercambio lingüístico vinieron dos ingleses y tres inglesas. That's 2 Englishmen and 3 English women came to the language exchange. So how can we condense that into a single plural noun to describe all the participants?
That is tricky. We've got both masculine and feminine forms, so would it be ingleses?
You nailed it. Even with both men and women at the event, we still use that masculine plural form, ingleses, to refer to the group as a whole.
Wow, these exercises have really helped me understand these plural forms better.
I'm glad to hear that. Practice really is key when it comes to learning a new language.
That's for sure. But now I'm curious, how do these plurals actually play out in real-life conversations?
Yeah, so we've learned all the rules and practiced using them, but how does knowing about plural nouns actually help us speak Spanish in real life?
Well, think about it this way. Imagine you're at a bustling Spanish market.
Okay.
There are colorful displays of all those fresh fruits. Las frutas.
Oh, I can practically smell the mangoes and melons.
Right. And let's say you're really craving some oranges, las naranjas.
Yeah.
To ask for a kilo, you'd say, "Me da un kilo de naranjas, por favor. Can I have a kilo of oranges, please?"
Ah, okay. So even a simple request like that uses the plural.
Exactly. Or imagine you're at a tapas restaurant with some friends.
Papas.
And your friend asks you, ¿Qué te parecen las tapas? What do you think of the tapas? And I would say, me encantan las tapas. I love tapas. See, I'm already using those plurals.
You're a natural. Or how about this? You're at a party and someone asks you about your family, la familia.
Oh, right. Okay, I could say, tengo dos hermanos y tres hermanas. I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. Wow, that sentence is full of plurals.
I know, right? Plurals are everywhere. And as you get better at Spanish, you'll start to use them in even more complex ways, like discussing historical events, los eventos históricos,
Right.
or even debating current affairs, los asuntos actuales.
This is really cool. Knowing these plurals really opens up a whole new level of communication.
It really does. But don't forget, learning a language is a journey.
Mm.
The more you immerse yourself in Spanish, the more you'll learn all those little details and really appreciate the beauty of the language. Just keep practicing and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn.
That's some great advice. Thanks for walking me through all this. I feel like I'm ready to tackle Spanish plurals in any situation.
My pleasure. The world of Spanish awaits you.
That's right. And to everyone listening, keep diving deep into the languages you love. Hasta la próxima.